Hey, how's it going? Thanks for coming back. This is pretty much just going to be a video of how to get Pritunl running on your Proxmox. So setting up a nice, strong open VPN, enterprise VPN at home, basically. So I actually have a unifi USG, which I was using for a VPN before, but I pretty quickly found the limitations and was starting to have some problems with that. So this is the VPN I use at a place that I work at, so I know that it's good and I'm familiar with it. So I can show you how to get it going. Basically, we're just going to create a new container here in Proxmox. We can call it whatever we want and call it Pritunl video. We're going to uncheck the unprivileged container. I don't know if it works privileged or not. I mean, go ahead and give it a try. Definitely let me know if that works for you, because I think that is more secure. So maybe I might try that after this. Create a password. And go ahead and hit next. For this one, we're just going to use Ubuntu 18.04 template. Create where you want your storage to be. We'll just do it on there. 15 gigabytes should be enough. Give it 2 cores and 2 gigs of memory. Just do whatever you need based on how many clients you're going to have connecting and what, how much data they're going to be moving essentially. And I'll leave all of this the same, except I will get a DHCP address just for the sake of this video. I would recommend doing it static. DNS stays the same, and we will start after created. So now we can see that the task is okay. Connects out, and we see that it's running over here. We'll come over to our console. Plug in with the roots and the password that you created at the beginning. And quickly here, we're just going to make sure everything is up to date and all of that. Whoops, apt update. I'm sorry about that. Looks like we have 200 packages that will be upgraded, so I will fast forward that for you guys. Dash yes, so I don't have to answer yes to all of these. Okay, so we've got everything updated. We know that we got the newest everything for Ubuntu. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to add the Pritunl repository and the MongoDB database repository. So I will include all of these commands that you're going to need down below, so you can just copy and paste them, and I'll let you know what they're going to do. There it is, basically an echo into this location, and it added that one. That is the Pritunl one. Then we'll go ahead and do MongoDB database. And apparently this is going to write in this text file. Not sure why it wasn't the same as the other one, but we're going to add this on this text file to add the database, to add the repository. So nano, control O to save, yes, control X to exit. So now the next thing that we need to do is add the public keys so that we're able to verify that they're the correct things that we're downloading. And basically we'll do this one at a time here. And I will copy and paste all of these down below. So here on the first one it says gnupg or gnupg2 do not seem to be installed. One of them is required. We'll just do an apt install gnupg2. Let that go real quick. Yes. It's a little bit of a process just getting all of the required packages, but now we'll go ahead and run that same command again. Looks like it's working this time. And here's the key for the second one. And now, when we run apt-update, we should see those two new repositories downloading packages. So let's see if that is what happens. So yeah, you see these top two right here, Pritunl, MongoDB. Looks like all of them are up to date, but let's see if we can install them. Looks like it's working, so guess they're on there. So now that we technically installed Pritunl and MongoDB, we want to go ahead and start the MongoDB or the Pritunl and MongoDB services. So let's go ahead and run the systemctl start. And it's good, and now we'll enable them. And you can see here just synchronizing state basically just gets Pritunl talking with MongoDB and starting to write. So at this point now, we should be able to hit it from a WebUI. Let's go ahead and see if we have an IP address. It looks like we do, 30.75. So let's see what happens here. Looks like we are hitting it. So in the first time you're going to see this, you're going to have to do this process, enter setup key, and basically just copy and paste this here. Copy and paste it right here. And essentially what happens is it gives us our setup key, I think. Yep, there it goes. Okay. So it basically just restarted it. Now it's talking to the database. And it's asking us for the default username and password. So to figure that out, the default username is going to be Pritunl. And again, we're going to copy and paste this here to get our default password. And here you can see it is this. So we'll just paste that in there. And at this point, it's going to ask you, do you want to enter a new password? It shows you your public IP address, your web console port. Basically, you know, if you want to make any changes here, it asks you if you want to do that. So the first thing that we're going to do is change the password, just because I don't want to use the default password every time. Go ahead and save that. And from here, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add a server. And basically, this is adding, you could have multiple servers. Say if you have multiple subnets, you could have a server for each subnet and kind of keep those users separated and, segmented, if you will. For this one, we're just going to go ahead and do one. We're going to go ahead and do test server. I know, very creative. We can go ahead and leave Google as our DNS, or if you have Pi-hole, for instance, or some other internal DNS server. And this is the default port that they're going to give us, but I'm actually going to change that to 10448. And you are going to have to port forward this in your router. And so for me, I've got unifi, and there's lots of different tutorials on how to do that. I'm not going to show you how to do that just because it's a security thing. But basically, it creates our own network, and I'm going to change this to just because I have another one on that one. And you have the options to enable WireGuard or Google Authenticator, and Google Authenticator would actually be a really good idea, but I haven't done that yet. So I'll go ahead and hit Add, and it's going to go ahead and try and start the server. We'll see how that runs. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and add, looks like I can't add a user yet. I have to add an organization. So again, say if you maybe manage multiple companies, or you could just name it whatever company you wanted to, company A. Or again, if you wanted to have different departments within an organization, you could do that here. Lots of different ways to just, organize different people, different purposes, that type of thing. So now we can go ahead and add a user, and we'll just do user A and select an organization, company A. I don't really do email or PIN numbers. Again, you can for more security. So at this point, let's make sure what's going on here. We can go ahead and add a route. So basically, any routes that you want to create is going to be whatever your internal LAN is. So whether that's 192.168.1 dot whatever, or 172.16.1 or 10.10.10 dot whatever all your other IP devices are, you're going to want to create a route to that subnet. So for this instance, we'll choose the 1.0/24s. And remove the 0.0.0, in my opinion. Otherwise, it's just going to allow you to talk to all of them. So again, whichever your use case and your scenario is, this is going to be a little bit more controlled, if you will. So it looks like we've got what we needed. Now we can attach our organization to our server. And let's go ahead and try and start it. So I get this almost every time that I try and do this error management socket exception. Let's see if it gives me this other error that I'm expecting. Usually related to like the NetTune adapter or something like that. It's slow. So let's see what it's doing here. So it's not giving me the one I'm used to, which I guess is good. Let's test it out. Okay, so that's what I think it is. I think it's the same fix, even if it's not giving me that same error. All right, here we go. We're going to create the directory that it's looking for. First, we're going to go cd dev. Then we're going to run this command. And yeah, I'll make this easier for you guys. Let's see if that helps our, there it is. Helps it immediately. You don't even have to reboot it or anything. So I'm not 100% sure on what that does. It basically allows it to use this network device, the Tun device, and that fixes everything else. But for some reason, it doesn't automatically create that directory. So sometimes you have to make that on its own, and then you will get rid of your errors. So basically, at this point, you've got your container up and running. You've got Pritunl installed with its MongoDB database. You've got the default password changed. You've got a server running, an organization set up, and users on your organization. The next thing that you're going to need to do is on whatever your client PCs or that your user PCs that are going to need to use this, they need to download the Pritunl client. And to do that, you just go to Pritunl, Google Pritunl client. There it is. Make sure I don't have it already. And pick your flavor that you need. I happen to be on a Windows computer. And we will install this over here. Accept the agreement and click through all the installers. Pick your wherever you want to install it at. I don't have room on my C drive, so I'm moving it. I am going to delete it after this, so I'm not going to create a desktop shortcut, as I'm working on my desktop, so it's obviously not going to be traveling. The things I do for you guys, I appreciate you guys. Alright, so once that green bar finishes, it's going to say, would you like to install the software? Again, it's the network driver or adapter essentially for the VPN. It creates a couple of them. And you would see that in your network adapters if you went and looked. So you click yes. At this point, it'll finish. Click finish. Go ahead and open Pritunl. There it is. So you would have to go back to your WebUI here, go back to your user, correlate whatever your user you're working with, what the user's laptop, and you want to download their profile. And this is another thing that I like a lot about Pritunl is you don't have to set up IP addresses, you don't have to set up any programming, any coding, any keys or anything like that. You just download the profile, pull it up, drag it over, and boom, you're done. Let's check and see that it allows me to connect. And it may not, just because I'm not away from my computer. Yeah, so just like that, you've got everything you need to get going. And if you guys like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, because I'm going to be doing a lot more videos. I'm going to try and get one out every single month, and just try and come up with more and more content. So I appreciate you guys, and thanks for watching.